This is about how to not be a failure in life. And that may sound like kind of an odd title, but I think a lot of us get to a point in our life where even if we don't call it failure, we start to wonder, is this really all it's about? Did I really make the right choices? Is this really what I want my life to look like? And so as you're making changes, or progressing on further, if you feel like you've made the right choices and you want to just move along further, here are some things to do when you see something not go the way you wanted it to go in that area, so that you can learn from your mistakes and not simply fail, which is stopping at the point of a bad outcome. So first of all, evaluate what went wrong. So if something didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, or did not go as well as you had planned, the first thing you need to do is evaluate what went wrong. And the way to evaluate that is threefold. First of all, did you make wrong assumptions? Second, were you ill prepared? Third, was it just dumb bad luck? And if so, write down the bad luck and possibly what you could have done to be better prepared were that bad luck to happen again. So the second thing, to not stop at the point of failure, but instead to turn a bad outcome into a positive in your life, is decide what changes you need to make. That's why you're evaluating first, and you're thinking about, I said with the dumb bad luck, but with all of it, evaluate what went wrong, decide what changes you need to make. Did you need to spend more time learning about the topic, reading, learning vocabulary, understanding what somebody was saying? If somebody said that the ROI was this, or the cap rate was this, or the year-over-year projection was this, or was there terminology that you didn't understand as well as you thought, or that you didn't understand at all, or you made false assumptions about? Or was there something else that you should have spent more time reading and researching, or numbers that you ignored, or projections that you made that didn't work out? If you were getting ready to redo your kitchen and you assumed a 20% margin, like, okay, if you thought it was going to cost 10,000, you put aside 12 and it actually ended up being 17, and so you're 5,000 over the overage, and that puts you in a bad place where you put money on a credit card. What did you learn from that? What things ahead of time could have clued you in that you didn't really have this set up right? Or was it just like right now we're in an inflationary period, and maybe in the future you want to make sure that you have double what you think you're going to need just to be prepared, even though that may mean delaying what you do. It might help you to not be caught in a bad position. The second thing with deciding what changes: were your expectations, projections overly optimistic? I am terrible about this. And so now, where I just talked about the remodeling, I always double it. We actually had a year ago where our porch was rotting through, and so it was bouncing. It was unsafe, and we had to get a new front porch because that's a main way that we get in and out of the house. And so we happened to get it at the moment that lumber was surging. This was in spring, summer of 21. And so the person, when they built it, they said, this is triple what it would have been if you had asked me to build this even 6 months ago, a year ago, because lumber has shot up so much. And what was really annoying is within 2 weeks of him finishing it, there was a shift in the market and lumber crashed. And so had we bought it 6 months later, or done it a year or two earlier, which we really couldn't have done because of our financial situation with my husband finishing up school, but if we would have done it 6 months later, instead of trying to be super responsible and just done it when things started to cool off in the fall, instead of doing it in the summertime, we could have saved, it was $3,000 instead of being about $1,200. So even doubling our projections wouldn't have helped us in that case. Number 3, apply the lessons and start again wiser. This is the biggest key that I've learned of successful people, is even when they full on fail, do something stupid, it was all their fault, plus bad luck, plus everything else, they don't give up. They apply the lesson and they move forward. They do it again. They come back better. They don't let it defeat them. So your lessons and other people's mistakes can help you to come back better the next time. Realize mistakes are a part of learning and don't demand perfection of yourself. This is a big problem I have, and some of you type A people out there, you know who you are. We all struggle with this. Sometimes even people who struggle with self-esteem feel like they should have known. No, we can't possibly know everything and prepare for every single outcome, but we can do things to be as prepared as possible. And when we find that we weren't prepared in a certain area, we can make adjustments for the next time. Do require excellence, diligence, and commitment. Do not demand perfection. It's just an impossible standard, and it's going to get you to be paralyzed by fear, and you'll never move forward, or you'll be unhappy because you'll focus on everything that didn't go the way you wanted it to. So the bottom line to not being a failure in life is simply whenever you fail, get up, learn from it, and move forward stronger and better. I saw this really great illustration where, people can let failure either keep you down or use it as the stepping stone to going up. Use it as a stepping stone. Shake it off. There was an example of a donkey stuck in a pit, and somebody started shoveling dirt on top of him because like, I can never get him off. And the donkey started shaking it off and stepped up and shook it off and stepped up. And that's really how I'm trying to live my life. And I've tried to live my life for the last 12 to 15 years through some really difficult times. When something bad happens, I shake it off, I learn from it, I stomp down on it, and I use it to move me up a little higher until I can get out of the pit. And sometimes it takes a while because you have to tamp that dirt down really hard, continuing the donkey illustration, but you can do it. So share with us some of the failures and lessons that you've had in your own life in the comments below. Share this with someone that you think might benefit from it. Maybe they are a little bit too hard on themselves. And like and subscribe. I will be talking tomorrow about how to not be a failure in school, in study and academics. So if that's something, maybe you know a student or a non-traditional student going back, if that will benefit you, then I hope I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Make sure you get it by hitting the bell. See you next time.